Ed, you've been playing softball for 57 years.
Oh yeah,
The
buddy, man. I think it may be a little longer. I think I started at 19, but 20 is good enough.
a lot of conversation and about getting in the batter's box. What's your? Do you have a plan when you go in?
Well, you know, back when I was young, I just got up and swung, and I took batting practice, all that kind of stuff. But I kind of formulate like four principles, if you will, uh, over the years because I've been up in a lot of clutch situations and stuff. And I think softball. I think Ted Williams said that baseball is 50% mental, 50% technique, whatever. I think it's like 70-30 in softball. You know. But my four principles are, go something like this. The first one is have confidence. If you don't have confidence when you step into that into the batter's box, you're behind already. What about you? I mean, do you think confidence is a key issue?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely huge. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe you're going to get a hit, you're probably not.
Well, that's true. That's like life. It's all about attitude, the positive attitude. In life, it's not the people with a positive attitude have that energy around them. They draw other people with positive attitudes, and positive attitudes. Softball's like a momentum game, and people get down and you go to the plate. Oh, with 10 runs behind. I think who was it? Bob O'Brien says, "Play the game, not the scoreboard." I love that one, and that's about a positive attitude, right? And number two rule is before you get in the box, you should have a plan. It goes back to that. Do you think or do you hit? Well, you think before you get in the box. Um,
When you say a plan, what do you mean by that?
Well, when you walk up and you see how the pitcher's pitching, softball's a game of adjustments, just like baseball. You got to adjust. In softball, you can adjust every pitch sometimes, but you're watching what the pitcher's throwing. Is he short, but it's long? Should I be up in front of the box or back? What's the count? I got bases loaded. I want to stay out of the middle. You're thinking, okay, so that. And then when you step in the box, you got to be on remote control. You got to have enough batting practice that you know what you can do with a pitch. Now, I may step in that box and I'm looking outside. I'm looking for that outside pitch, so I go that way. If I see that pitch I love, I'm probably going to go that way anyhow. If the bases are loaded, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a high pitch and go high. So that's what I mean by about a plan.
When you get into the box, is there a mindset that you have as your third point?
The mindset is to be aggressive. And people, what do you mean be aggressive? You don't swing at everything, but don't let the umpire. It's like our buddy Gary Benton. Remember we talked about that? We did a video, and he was saying, "Yeah, I'm aggressive." And he, in that situation, he a pitch. It was low. It was low. I was there. I saw it, but he didn't swing it. It just barely hit the plate. So sometimes that's just a catch-22. Do I swing? It's not. But I say, don't let the umpire make the call. But hey, I've struck out on that too. I remember the pitch came through inside, and all of a sudden it cut back in because of when it hit the corner. So but be aggressive.
So if something like that happens, that goes to your fourth point, I think, isn't it?
Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah, my fourth point is have amnesia. My son told me that. He said, and I didn't come up with it. My son said, my son Scott said, you got to have amnesia, and that's true. Don't whatever you do in your bat. If you're successful, you don't want to forget that, but you don't want to count that that's going to help you in your next at bat. When you get in that batter's box, each time it's a different time. I've had games where I was hitting the ball bad for three times, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, but I'm going in there and I know I can do it. I'm going to do it because I'm going to recover, and then get the winning hit, and that's what's more important. What's more important to you? Going 4 for 4 and losing the game, or going 1 for 4 and getting the winning hit to win the game.
There you go.
It's all perspective, and that kind of channels back to the confidence. You got to have confidence in what you're doing at the plate, knowing that you can do it. Look, I know all these things, and that's my mental philosophy. But if I don't focus, like I'm playing with a bunch of guys, like when we play the pickup games, I'm not as focused as when we go to the national championship. And you haven't been around me that much playing competitive ball, but I make a lot of noise. I talk a lot, and that's not, that's for me and my team. They feed. I've found over the years that the teams feed off my teammates feed off my energy, and I always thought that, but over the last few years, people are saying, yeah, man, this guy's fucking, excuse me, this guy's nuts. There's been in tournaments, people, the fans have named me psycho. I mean, now I've calmed down a little bit. I take a lot of CBD, so I'm a little calmer, and of course a little older, and it doesn't really mean as much to me as, I want to win, but it's not all that the end all and be all like it used to be. I wanted to win in anything, So yeah, that's kind of my 4 points. So recapping them, and I made this up based on what I do getting in the box. Everybody's got to do what they do. This is the way I do it. It's not. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it. I'm saying, in my experience. And the other thing, when you get in the box and you're in a key situation, I've been in a lot of do or die situations, so to speak. But the one thing I learned in my life, in the batter's box, is whatever you do when you get in that box, do what you do best. Do what you do best. Don't try. If you don't go to right field good, don't go to right field. Get the ball and do what you do best.
Good stuff.
Any other thing? That's good.
That's good.
All right, only 4 of us today at the hitting club. Well, Phil was here and he left. Who we got here from Stan over?
Stan McDavid,
Mike Lohman,
How old are you, Stan?
66.
Mike.
65.
Danny, my co-man, Danny Carlson.
83.
Hey, you guys know my Rose's 4 principles are being a good hitter, and that means, stepping in the box. What are you thinking of from your perspective? You agree or disagree or what?
I totally agree with it, Ed.
Give me some reason. I mean,
You have to remind yourself about him too, because so many times you go up and take a, you'll have a bad at bat, and you'll say, "Damn, I forgot to do this one or this one," of your principles.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Didn't mean-
You have to be aggressive.
And to that, what does that mean to you?
It means you can't, with a 1-on-1 count, you can't wait for the perfect pitch. If he gets that not so perfect pitch on you for strike 2, the next pitch is going to be worse.
And what about that last one? What was it? Have amnesia, Stan. What about that?
I don't remember.
Well, that's good. You're set for that one then. And what about any other ones? You
You just have to wait for your pitch.
wait. How do you find out what your pitch is? It's when in batting practice, right?
Exactly.
Now, you had seen a pitch you don't like. You like all them pitches. You hit them
That's
all.
a bad thing. You got to be selective.
Yeah, well, that's true, but you got to be aggressive. And I used to get on you, dude, for not following through and stuff like that. But you hit probably 750 sometimes, and
I do need to follow through more.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you get on base, dude, and that's all that counts in this game. What about my man Dano? You know about all these because we ran over them together.
Yeah, the plan going into the box is the pitcher deep, is he short, adjusting, and then what I do is, I draw an imaginary little box, and I try and be disciplined enough to strike it something on my first pitch. And amnesia is good both ways. If you're having a bad day, you come up, the confidence that you have here in practice that you build, you can do it, and you hit it. Just knowing that you can do it is a big deal. And also when you've had a success, maybe you're 3 for 3, and you want to try and get cute. Forget about being cute. Just amnesia. Forget about it and swing the next pitch like it's the first one you see.
Yeah, that's good point. Here's the thing I'll say, and it'll probably get you guys taken back, but I said, hitting, and when you're in the batter's box, it's a little bit like being born and dying, right? Because why? You're all by yourself when you come into the world. You're all by yourself when you go out. And when you're in that batter's box, dude, you're all by yourself. Your fairy godmother, your batting coach, is not going to be there, right? You like that analogy? You think I should use that?
Yeah.
Oh, hell, I already got it on the tape. Okay, guys, thanks, man. Great job today. What you just watched was Dan this morning interviewing me off the cuff, actually. That was not rehearsed or anything. He just asked me a question. We went at it. But when I got home, I formulated this into a chart, if you will, and actually called it Ed Rose's 4 Mental Principles for Hitting Success. I do that because, this is my experience. My 57 years, as Dan mentioned in there, and I've played on the best team out of Florida in all the age groups since I was 35 years old, so that's like 40 years. And we've been winning forever, and I've got videos out there telling you that it's not me, it's the team members. I've played with all the great players there are. But this is my recommendation, the 4 points, if you will, the 4 principles. Confidence. You got to have that positive attitude. You got to think that you're good, and you got to believe. If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. Next one is strategy. Have that plan before going in. Think about what you're going to do. Look at the situation. A lot of things that go there. Be aggressive. We have a video out on that. What's being aggressive mean? Know what pitch what you can do with a pitch that you see, and you kind of act on your muscle memory. And of course, the biggest one is amnesia. You got to have amnesia. Every swing you take will not determine the next one for sure. So, there's times you go bad and you got to get good by the end of the game. It's called adjustment. It's crazy. But the one thing that I believe, and when I got to that point in my career after I failed a couple of times, I always believe that you should do what you do best. And my best was shot up the middle. Now, unfortunately, you got a man up the middle now, so I got to find another best. But always remember to do your best. Like this video here, this is my best when I was a magician. I used to be a pretty good. Well, this next slide is mainly for my posterity and my grandsons. It's a shot of one of my favorite teammates, Big Bruce Meade. He's the home run king, the Babe Ruth of our generation. He's the only man that hit it out at Astro Stadium back in the day. Now I'm sure there's a lot of guys on these bombers that go around and bomb it out, a lot of bigger guys. But back in the day, he was the only man doing that, and he could hit home runs with wooden bats. Some of the best days of my career playing softball with Bruce, traveling to Maui and then Japan, and man, it was really it was really experience on my part, because I looked up to the guy when I was a young man. There's a story where I met him in a hotel in Miami when he was doing a home run contest against Jose Canseco and Scotty Willis, but that's another story. But I talked to someone and said, you know who Bruce Meade is? And, not once or twice, but several, and they don't know who Bruce Meade is. Don't forget Bruce Meade, man. He is softball. That man, he's like Jim Galloway from New York. I think he was actually better than Jim Galloway. Then of course there's Mike Masenko, Big Mike, the big cat. He's got 700 or 800 home runs in one season. But I think the big cat and Bruce are two of the mainstays. There's a lot of other names, can't name them all, but Bruce is my favorite. Don't forget Bruce Meade. Look him up on the internet and do your research. Know who Bruce Meade is, like not knowing who Babe Ruth is. Bruce, I hope you're out there. Well, I know you're out there. I talk to you all the time. Well, not all the time, but most of the time. Well, buddy, you are my favorite. One of my favorites. I got a lot of favorites, really. I love all them Venom boys right now, man. You got to love your boys when you're with them. Hey, I hope this helps you with hitting. It's just from my experience, and I will have some other on this. I hope to talk to Bob O'Brien on this subject really soon. So hit subscribe. Look for my videos. Thanks.